All right, everybody, buckle up because winter weather is about to make a serious comeback across North America. I'm not talking about a little cold front or a light dusting of snow. I'm talking about a full-on return of winter with biting wind chills, big-time cold air, and heavy snow that's going to remind you real fast that November means business. Now, over the next several minutes, I want to walk you through exactly what's happening. Not just over the next 5 to 7 days, but what's coming after that. Because what's sitting just beyond that quiet stretch could completely shift our weather pattern. And if you're watching from Canada, this is your warning. You'll want to pay close attention, because you're right in the bullseye of what's building up north. Let's get straight into it. This morning, we had some wild winds out in British Columbia, gusts hitting close to 100 miles per hour over at the Chester Lake Dam. That's hurricane force wind, no joke. It's been a rough stretch for the Pacific Northwest, and honestly, that's just the start of what's lining up. Now, for the next several days, things across the US will stay relatively quiet. We're in what we call a zonal flow, meaning the atmosphere's just moving west to east without much drama. A couple of smaller systems are sliding into the west coast, mainly bringing a couple of rounds of rain for California, Oregon, and Washington. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, down south, I'm watching a little feature forming near southern Florida and the Bahamas. A weak trough that might nudge some rain up towards the Carolina coast early next week. It doesn't look severe, just some light showers brushing by. The main story for now is that the US is catching its breath before things ramp up again. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. Up in New England, a system is sliding out this morning. Some lingering showers and gusty winds, maybe a touch of snow on the higher peaks, but that'll move out by tonight. Behind it, a new batch of energy is already setting up over Alaska and Western Canada. And that is what's going to drive our next pattern shift. Through this weekend, I expect a cold trough to dig down across central and eastern Canada. And as it deepens, it's going to start dragging Arctic air south. That's when we'll really begin to feel the next big wave of cold air spilling in. The kind of air that brings those stinging wind chills and starts dropping snow in the northern tier. Now, if you're in California or the Pacific Northwest, you'll get hit first. By Wednesday, expect rain and storms for Northern California and Southern Oregon. Then another system right behind it by Thursday and Friday, pushing into Washington and British Columbia. It's going to be an active stretch out west. 2 back-to-back systems, each one adding more rain and some mountain snow. The rest of the country stays fairly mild for a few more days. But once we pass the 7-day mark, that calm breaks down. Around days 8 to 10, models are showing something brewing, possibly a stronger trough dropping into the upper Midwest, pulling in a surge of colder air, and maybe even sparking a round of storms on its leading edge. Now, I want to be clear here. We're not talking about a guaranteed snowstorm yet. But as those systems start linking up, the potential for a real pattern change grows. This could be the setup that finally brings winter back in full force as we move into mid-November. If you're wondering where this colder air is sitting, it's all bottled up in Canada right now, building strength. Multiple models are showing that Arctic reservoir deepening, and once that jet stream dips, it could easily spill south and slam into the northern US. When that happens, it won't just be chilly. We're talking about 20s, 30s, and even single-digit wind chills in spots. For now, though, the next 5 to 7 days look pretty calm overall. Some rain for the Pacific Northwest, light showers for parts of the East Coast, and a small chance of storms across southern Florida and Texas. But after that, things start to shift quickly. Beyond that quiet stretch, I'm seeing a developing pattern that could bring 2, maybe even 3 rounds of storms hitting the west coast and tracking east. The timing isn't exact yet. We're still 8 to 10 days out. But this is how it begins. One storm, then another, and then the cold floodgates start to open. Now, I've seen a lot of talk online about possible severe weather or snow events. And I just want to be straight with you. Right now, there's no major system threatening the US in the short term. The National Weather Service agrees. No severe weather expected in the next week. But that doesn't mean we're in the clear beyond that, because once that trough over the Pacific deepens and starts swinging east, The door opens for colder air and potential snowstorms later on, especially for the northern plains, Great Lakes, and possibly even New England by mid to late November. Canada will take the brunt of it first, with multiple heavy snow events looking very likely for Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. Meanwhile, the US will stay in a bit of a tug of war. Warm ridges building in the central and southern states. Cold troughs trying to push down from the north. That blocking pattern could be the key that determines who gets buried in snow and who stays mild. And get this, even the Dakotas might see a few flakes flying as that cold air drops south. Not a big snowmaker, but still, it's a clear sign that the seasons are shifting fast. Behind that system, things stay cool, damp, and gloomy for a while. But the real story here, the build-up of cold to the north. You can practically see the atmosphere getting restless. Onshore winds are going to crank across the northeast, pulling in moisture and dropping temperatures. That means rain could flip to snow in parts of upstate New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire as that low slides by. Then, just as that clears, the next piece of energy starts diving south out of the Canadian prairies. Meanwhile, Alaska is getting slammed. I mean, we're talking a powerful low roaring off the coast, pounding it with heavy rain and fierce winds. That storm energy spills down into British Columbia and even Washington state, bringing snow into the mountains, rain down below, and setting up a chain reaction that keeps the jet stream active across the entire west coast. Now here's where things really start to take shape. We're seeing that Arctic high, that dome of frigid air over the ice sheet, beginning to push southward. That's the key. It's not fully locked in yet, because there's still some unfrozen water up north modifying that air mass, but the stage is being set. Across the Northwest Territories and northern Canada, the deep cold is back, and when that happens this early, it's usually the spark for big winter storm development further south. And the models? Oh, they're picking up on it. The storm track stays active across the west into next week, especially around the 5th and 6th, with snow levels dropping, wind picking up, and the whole atmosphere looking more like December than early November. The GFS model is even hinting at something major trying to spin up across the northeast. Maybe a significant early season snow event for parts of Maine and upstate New York. We're still about a week out, so I'm cautious. But when multiple runs start sniffing out the same thing, you pay attention. Now here's the interesting part. The setup just screams potential. Warm air surging north, Arctic air diving south. Something's going to give. The GFS earlier today tried to explode a big coastal storm, sending it racing northeast. The latest run still shows a powerful system forming. Could this be the first big snowstorm of the season? Possibly. Still early, but it's on the table, and it's not just the GFS either. The European model, same time frame, sees the same cold air, same energy, just a slightly different storm track. When the major models start to agree on the pattern, even if not the details, that's when I start paying attention. And this cold, this looks like the real deal. This could easily push all the way down into parts of the southeast, bringing the coldest air of the season so far. Out west, we've got another round of snow through the Pacific Northwest this weekend before things calm down. But that next system, oh man, it's digging farther south, showing up even into parts of California. Yeah, California. Maybe even a little moisture sneaking into Southern California by next week. Most of the heavy stuff stays north, but this one looks like it's going to spread rain inland toward the Rockies too. Maybe dropping snow as far south as Colorado. And once that cold air slides into the plains, that's where the real mystery begins. Will we get a plain snowstorm out of it? Too early to say, but I can tell you this, the models smell a storm brewing. Alright, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, leave your region or city in the comments. I'll answer them individually as I have time. Commenting is completely free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.